Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Lacey and I teach 6th grade English language arts, and I wanted to do a sit down video with you guys. It's currently Friday night around 7 o'clock. It is the 10th of February, and this week was super long. I was not able to vlog, and I wanted to hang out with you and do a sit down video. In terms of sit down videos, a lot of times I will put a box on Instagram for you to type in your responses. So make sure you follow both me and Celeste Instagrams down below in the description box. This time I did put a question box on my Instagram, but it was my personal Instagram, which is not linked down below, because this week we are doing assumptions about middle school teachers. I wasn't sure about putting that on my teacher Instagram because I wasn't sure what some of the responses would be from students, and I got so many good responses, so let's jump right in. So I wrote down 8 assumptions. There are more, but if you want a part 2, just like this video and comment, and I will definitely make a second part. But the first assumption about middle school teachers is that you teach the same way for each class. So I would say it's true and false. It is true that I teach every class the same lesson. Like I do teach every class parts of speech or whatever it is. I'm not going to teach one class parts of speech and then teach the next class a different grammar lesson and then read a story with the next class, because I do need everyone to be on the same page. But I do teach them in different ways. We did switch our classes around in my school, so each homeroom is a certain level. So there are some kids that do need extra help, and they're now all together in one class, so I can teach them a little bit slower. I can walk around more. Naturally, they have more questions for me to answer. And then some of the other classes, they're a little bit more independent. So I do not teach different lessons, but I support them differently. So in terms of teaching the same way, I guess, yes, I do teach the same way, but I do help some classes a little more than others. So yes, but no. The second assumption is that you see kids learn independence. I would say that's true. I believe middle school is that time where they are starting to figure out who they are, what they want to do with their life, what kind of person they want to be. So I do see them start to learn independence. Thinking about academics, I do a lot of independent work because I want them to apply everything I'm teaching to their own assignments without me having to, sit beside them and help. In elementary school, I feel like that's more of the vibe where the teacher's literally stopping at every desk, checking in, helping. I definitely walk around and I answer questions, but I don't necessarily check in with every single person and see what you need help with and check our work and all of that. So I see independence academically, also see independence just like with their overall attitudes and personalities. Of course, that can be hard sometimes because they feel like they're older and they sometimes want to try to challenge the teachers, but I said try to challenge because I, of course, correct that. So I definitely see them learn independence. Even from August to now, there's been a whole lot of growth, and I am so proud of how they have grown. We still have some work to do, but we are better than where we started, and maturity and everything is slowly continuing to grow. The third assumption is that you teach curriculum and lessons that are old school. I'm 25. I don't really know what old school is, but I would say that's false. For my classroom, I try to make things more modern. I can't do that with everything, but I do try to make things more modern when I can, make things a little bit more relevant. So we just wrote a story this past week, and I had them come up with a story about getting famous, because fame and influencers and all of that is such a big deal. So I try to do writing prompts that are somewhat relevant, somewhat interesting. We've done a lot of different projects that are kind of relevant. We did a Shark Tank project because that's a popular show. We do comic strips sometimes. I can't do everything that is relevant in the world because they have to learn, but when I can, I definitely try to incorporate what's popular in the world into my classroom. Because I teach language arts, I have the freedom to pretty much make up whatever writing prompt I want. So when I make up writing prompts, I do try to think about what is interesting. I don't necessarily want to do something boring. Now, if the kids think it's boring, it is what it is, but I do try to be as relevant as I can. So I would say that's not true. These are assumptions about middle school teachers, so obviously I can't speak for everyone. I'm sure there are several middle school teachers who are old school. The fourth assumption is you use workbooks and worksheets all the time. Again, like I just said, I try to be as interesting as I can. I don't have them just sitting doing worksheets, doing workbooks. A lot of times we do worksheets only if we are practicing something, not even once a week, I would say. And to me, a worksheet is like a practice sheet, 1 through 20. You're just doing it really just to do it. I don't do anything like that. Anything that is on paper for the most part is graded. Like it's not just, a little worksheet, I'm gonna just grade it for completion. It's something that is meaningful, something that's related to the standards. In terms of workbooks, I have used my workbooks one time this year. If I am literally out of ideas, then I will look in the workbook, but that's only happened one time this year. So I do not use workbooks and worksheets unless I just feel like they need extra practice with the concept and I'm out of ideas. But again, for teaching language arts, there's so many ideas out there in the world that I just haven't had a need to really even just sit and have them do workbooks. Again, I can't speak for all teachers. There are teachers who do use a lot of worksheets and workbooks. Like for math, you have to practice and practice and practice. But I feel like my team of teachers do a pretty good job of being creative. We do some projects online. I do a lot of things on lined paper. Like I'll put a prompt up on my big screen and then I'll have them write it on lined paper or colored paper or whatever it is. But I definitely don't just have them sit and do practice sheets. The next assumption is that work is your life. That is false. It's really hard sometimes to separate it though, like in terms of emotionally. I'll be at work frustrated about behavior or something like that, and then I come home and naturally I'm still in a bad mood, and I try really hard to leave work stuff at work, leave the emotional stuff at work, but it can be hard. But I am definitely working on that. Same thing with working from home. I do try to leave my work at school so that way I'm at home, I'm at peace, I'm enjoying my husband. We're newlyweds. I just want to make sure I have a separation and prioritize him in our first year of marriage and of course all the other years. So I'm trying to separate it. There are some nights where I just get overwhelmed and I have to bring work home, but that is very, very occasional. Even on weekends, like I have my backpack home with me now, but I already turned in my lesson plan and my lesson plans are due Sundays at 6:00. So I'm obviously in pretty good shape and now I don't have to worry about anything until Monday. So I would say that's false, but it definitely takes work. I have to be disciplined at work with my mind and with my actual assignments and work that I have to do. So that way I don't bring all of that baggage home. The next one is you have to stay on top of behavior in middle school. I definitely agree. This week was a tough week for behavior. We've tried a lot of different things and there's a lot of different things we're going to try next week. So that's true. We do have to stay on top of them. It's not as simple as just teaching. Like if I just taught my lesson and had no issues, that would be a dream world. There's always going to be behavior. There's always going to be talking. So just need to set the expectations. As soon as they come in the room, I tell them, please come in quietly. Don't come in with all that noise. And we try to set up the class on a good note from the beginning so that way we can have a successful class. But of course, throughout class, sometimes I have to correct the talking, turning around, whatever it is, but you have to stay on top of them because if you give an inch, then they will take a mile and then you will never get the control back. So that's something I've learned a lot this year. I did used to teach 8th grade, which is still middle school, and it was not like that. The maturity level is very, very different and they were more independent. I could assign them a independent assignment and I could sit at my desk and do my work the whole day, not even have to get up or correct anyone when I taught 8th grade. But now I had a whole to-do list of stuff and my students are doing an independent project. So you would assume today and yesterday when we started the project that I would be able to get my work done while they do the project, but I simply couldn't. I would sit down for a minute and then someone would need me, or I'd have to correct behavior. So it is definitely difficult in 6th grade, but the teachers and the principals and everybody works together to choose the best form of action. I started to do student of the week, and I would choose a student from each class. I would look at their grade, behavior, just overall, and I started to do that. I only made it through 2 or 3 weeks, and I had to take it away because behavior has just gotten to that point. But that positive reinforcement was nice, and people noticed. I also rewarded the top people who did our iReady program. My school uses iReady, which is just helpful lessons on math and ELA on the computer. And I used to reward the top 3. I've been doing that ever since we came back for winter break. I had to take that away too this week. Again, this week was a little crazy. But positive reinforcement does help, but of course it can't completely, change everything around. Definitely, yes, I definitely have to stay on top of behavior, as well as I'm sure anyone who is at my school or teaches middle school, period. The second to last one is it's easy to teach middle school. So this kind of piggybacks off of the last one that I just said. If I were to just teach, yes, that's easy. For me to plan lessons and to teach, that's easy. And that's why I'm teaching, because I love creating work for them. I love creating content. I love ELA. I love words. I love reading. I love writing. That's something I've always loved, and that is my passion. So it's easy to plan lessons. It's easy to teach and be up in front of the room and be prepared and be organized. But it's the behavior that makes everything more difficult, because I teach for a minute and then I correct behavior for a minute and then I go back to teaching and then something else happens, so I have to correct that. So it's really not as simple as just teaching. So it's easy to teach middle school. Yes, it's easy to teach. If you're going to be literal here, any job has pros and cons. Anything in the whole world has pros and cons. And the last one is that teachers only teach to have summers off. I enjoy my summers. I definitely enjoy my summers, but I have always wanted to be a teacher ever since I was younger. So my motivation for teaching has nothing to do with spring break and summers. That's just not true at all. And I don't know anyone who would go through all the things we go through as a teacher just to have summer off. So that is definitely false. I do have some more, but this video is getting kind of long, so just let me know if you want a part 2. I can totally do a part 2, and I think Celeste eventually will do one for counseling. But please make sure you comment. Let me know if you want me to do another one of these, or let me know what other sit-down videos you want to see from me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share as well. We are so thankful for the support. Our subscribers are definitely going up. We're up to 125 as I'm filming. So thank you guys again. I will see you guys in the next video. Please let me know what you want to see from me, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.